Something that I've noticed when it comes to parent and child relationships in astrology is that we actually inherit placements from our parents. In a way, this concept is kind of like generational trauma, just like we hold on to the things that our parents have experienced and the emotions that they have to deal with to get through them. We kind of do that the same in astrology, and it depends on what planets you have the same as your parents that show what areas of life will be affected. For example, I'm a Venus Taurus, and my biological mother is a Venus Taurus as well. And growing up, kind of watching the relationships that she had really did form the way that I thought of relationships. What I can remember from my childhood with my mother and her relationships is that she kind of had a new partner every so often. She would be with somebody for a little bit, kind of find something that she didn't really like about them, and then kind of move on. But she would have a partner almost immediately afterwards. And just kind of seeing that, I thought that's just how relationships were supposed to work. Like, you get over it, you get into your next one right away because you don't want to be alone. And I think that's something that she really struggled with. I can also see how I struggled with the same thing in the earlier parts of my childhood. I didn't really like being alone, although I spent a lot of time alone, and I really just wanted to cling to the relationships that I had out of fear of being abandoned. And I think that it took me a little bit of time to not feel that way anymore when it comes to my personal relationships, but I can see how my mother's relationships and her experiences and watching that influenced my own. So it's very interesting to see how we both have the same Venus signs and to just see how it affects us both in the long term. My biological father has a Saturn Taurus, and I have the same placement, and I can see how I relate to him when it comes to diligence, responsibility, and karma. I think that we both put a lot of pressure on ourselves just because we want to be able to hold ourselves at a high standard, but this can discourage us from wanting to actually accomplish anything because we're so critical of ourselves, which is an earth sign quality to do. I found this very interesting, and I think that if you want to understand what you've inherited from your parents, you definitely should look at their birth chart and see what placements you guys have the same.